This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. We're on the subject of pentatonic scales again today, same as we were last week. And it all stems from this email I got the other day from a chap called Mike.
Hi John, loved your wheel video on mapping the pentatonic boxes. My problem is that I struggle to remember the shapes themselves. Any chance you can help? Mike.
So yes, struggling to remember the pentatonic box shapes. In my experience, such as it is, you always remember something much better if you understand it. So getting an understanding of why the pentatonic boxes are the shapes that they are, and why they ended up being those shapes, I think is pretty essential to this. So here's a little bit of an explanation of how those shapes are derived. Okay then, let's start building the pentatonic boxes. Now, as you can see, basically got a bit of a fret box, fret diagram here, with the 5th fret indicated. And we're going to go for the probably the most widely used pentatonic pattern of them all, position 1. And if we're doing it on this part of the neck, then basically what you may not know, but you will do soon, is that if you walk down that pattern, you are actually spelling a word. C-A-G-D-E. That basically is a way of remembering where the notes are. Okay, so if we just do that again, you'll see again we start on C, A, G, E, D, and then C, then A again. So that gives us what we widely recognise as pentatonic box number 1, and this is obviously in A minor or C major. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this part of this scale, or this scale pattern, and just move it down to here. And basically that, as you can see, that bunch of notes there is this bunch of notes here. Now I need to just quickly grab some more frets. I'll just copy and paste that one from there, like that. And what we do now is we start looking at what the relationships are between the notes in this pattern. For instance, you can see that in this pattern here, wherever there's a C note, 2 frets above it, there's a D note. So let's find the C notes here and put D notes 2 frets above them. You can see that wherever there's an E note in this pattern, or there's an E note and 3 frets above it, oops, there is a G note. So let's put a G note 3 frets above that E there. The A note in this pattern has a C note 3 frets above it, so let's put a C note 3 frets above it in this pattern. The D note has an E 2 frets above it, so let's do that in this pattern. And then the G, well, 2 frets above the G, there is an A note, and that looks like that. And if this here is the 5th fret, well, we've got 6, 7, 8. This here then is the 8th fret. So we've now built the 2nd pentatonic pattern. Let's have a listen to and a look at what those look like together. So starting with pattern 1, this is this. Then this note in pattern 1 becomes this note in pattern 2. And that's how they fit together. Let's move on and get the next pattern. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to take the front, as I call it, the front end of this shape here, and move it down to here, and then let's grab another fret just to add that onto there. So there we go, and there's another fret box there ready to be filled in. So what do we know? Well, we know we've got a D note here, and then 2 frets above any D note there is an E note. So let's put the E note in there and there. Then we've got a G note here. Well, as we've seen, 2 frets above a G, you have an A. What have we got here? Well, we've got a C note, and we know that 2 frets above C, there is a D. And then we've got an E note here, and we know that 3 frets above E, there is a G. So let's throw that in. And then we've got an A note here, and we know that 3 frets above A, there is a C. So let's throw that C note in there. And once again, if this is the 8th fret here, 9, 10, this makes this the 10th fret. And let's see how that maps onto the previous patterns. So we had pattern 1. This note in pattern 1 becomes this note in pattern 2. Then this note in pattern 2 becomes this note in pattern 3. So now we've got 3 pentatonic patterns, and let's go for a 4th one. Once again, what I'm going to do is kind of copy and paste the front end of that pattern and bring it down here. And let's just extend that fret box up. I'll just grab this spare fret from here and put it onto here like this. And just following the same principles, really. We have an E note here, and that we know 3 frets above E, there is a G. So let's throw the G into there and into there. There's an A note there. We know that 3 frets above A, there lies a C note. We've got a D note here. We know that 2 frets above D, there is an E. So let's put that in there. We have a G note here, okay, and what have we got? What's the next up from G? Well, it's A, and that's 2 frets above, so let's just throw that in there. And then we've got a C note here, and we know that 2 frets above C, you will always find the D note, and that gives us the next pattern. Once again, if this is the 10th fret here, then 11, 12, this will be the 12th fret. Like that. And if we now just kind of map those patterns out, starting with pattern 1. Then onto this note here for pattern 2. Then onto this note here for pattern 3. Then onto this note here for pattern 4, as we've now got. And that really is the penultimate pattern. Let's now take this end of pattern 4 and bump it down here. Once again, we need to extend that fret box, so I'll just grab this spare fret from here and then copy and paste on like that, and just apply the same principles once again. We have a G note here. You know by now that 2 frets above G, we have an A. So let's put the A note in there and there. We have a C note here. As you've seen plenty of times by now, 2 frets above C, there is D. This is an E here, and 3 frets above E, we find a G note. This is an A, 3 frets above A, we go to the C note, and then 2 frets above this D, we come to an E. And once again, let's look at what fret we're at by now. This is the 12th fret, 13, 14, 15. This, therefore, will be the 15th fret. There we go. And that is what we're going to call pattern 5. I'll label these up in a moment. Let's take this front end of pattern 5 and put it on down here. And once again, we will just extend that fret box up with some blank frets like this. And what we got here? Well, we've got an A, 3 frets above A, there is a C. Let's put the C notes in. That's a D, 2 frets above D, there is E. This is a G, 2 frets above G, there is an A. This is a C note, 2 frets above the C note, we have a D. This is an E, 3 frets above the E, we have a G. And if this is the 15th fret, 16, 17, then this will be the 17th fret. Yeah, there we go. That's the 17th fret. And then we're back to where we started again. This is what we call pattern 1. Pattern 1. This is pattern 2. Pattern 3 is this one. Pattern 4 is this one. Pattern 5 is this one, which will also, by the way, exist at the 3rd fret. And pattern 4 will also be at the open strings. Let's put that in here. There we go. Open strings, 12th or open. There we go. And this is the 15th or 3rd. That's pattern 5. And then we're up to the 17th again, and we've already seen it down at the 5th fret for pattern 1. And there's my phone pinging. Somebody likes me. So those are not just the 5 pentatonic patterns, but also how they work and why they work. And let's just run through them all right now, from pattern 1 onto pattern 2 from this note, onto pattern 3 from this note, onto pattern 4 from this note, onto pattern 5 from this note, and then back to pattern 1 again from this note. And then, of course, if we've got pattern 5, which is 2 frets below pattern 1, then pattern 1's down here. Here. We've got pattern 5 down here as well. And then pattern 4 off the open strings. So they just kind of slot together like Lego bricks, and you can cover the entire neck in the A minor pentatonic scale or any pentatonic scale, because, you know, if you move it up a few frets, then stuff's going to drop off this end here, but it tends to reappear back down there at that end. So that is, as simple as I can make it, an explanation of why the 5 pentatonic patterns are what they are and how they fit together and why they work in the way that they do. And if you are a Patreon supporter of mine, well, first of all, thank you very, very much indeed. If you go to my Patreon page, there's the address and the link is in the description. You will see that text file that I was typing up there, and that whole sort of little presentation there where I'm kind of deriving everything. Basically the bit of footage that you've just seen for you to download and keep, and, you know, help you memorize the scale patterns. Hopefully that will help. I'll also throw in an A minor jam track as well, so you can have a little bit of a practice of using those pentatonic boxes that hopefully you will now know just that little bit better as a result of watching what you just watched. As I say, all that's up on my Patreon page. It's only $3 a month or £2.50, and you get access to all of these extra bits and pieces that go along with these YouTube videos. Thank you so much to everybody who supports me in that way or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down in the description. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video, found it useful and informative, and if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not give me a like while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream Friday 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars for an hour or so. It's a fantastic way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.